Hi, it is Friday, September 20th. I was just kind of messing around with a few things that have crossed my mind. Finally got a chance to watch, I've only gotten through one episode so far of Ken Burns' country music. Mostly because it's long. It's so hard for me to sit down and set aside 2 hours to plunk down in front of the TV. But I'm really glad I did. Finally caught that one last night. I'm supposed to go to the movies tonight, too. That's another thing. Another 2 hours at the movies. Downton Abbey. We'll see. Little family trip. Should be pretty fun. But what's going on there? I'd never heard the term the Carter Scratch. Now, I'm just certain things have evaded my radar. And but they were talking about Maybelle Carter, who was pretty much the creative link and musical force behind what eventually became known, was at the time was known as the Carter family, her brother-in-law and her cousin. The three of them were sort of pioneers, along with Jimmy Rogers. Now, we have a Jimmy Rogers tune up here, but the first place I heard it was, of course, Boz Scaggs' first album, the Waiting for a Train. But I digress again. And but I'd always talk to people about that one of the big differences between flat picking and finger picking is that when you flat pick something, you typically play the melody and the bass. Well, that's because that's what Maybelle Carter was doing. So she would play songs like... And, of course, I would have always played that like this. So anyway, but I just always figured that was I would always describe it as the difference between finger picking and like the bluegrass or flat picking approach to the world. Didn't realize that Maybelle Carter, June, and Anita and Helen's mother started that whole thing back in the 1920s. So if anybody's been watching that, I hope you're enjoying it. And let's maybe some comments on the forum. Speaking of comments on the forum, pretty cool tunes, huh? That I noticed a few people have listened to them. Haven't gotten too many responses yet on the chord progression to Feel a Whole Lot Better and Needles and Pins, but it was just a funny coincidence that those crossed my radar this week. Let's see, what else went on? We had a few new tunes. Vanessa brought us the Cranberries tune, Linger. And boy, a song I'd been thinking about doing for years, but just never kind of got around to it. I'm glad Max finally did, was The River. Pretty cool. Bruce has some pretty neat acoustic guitar songs. That's obviously one of them. And then another one that I could have sworn I did years ago, But I think I just started it like a half a dozen times and never got around to it. Till There Was You. And I've had students play that in the past, and every once in a while people ask me about like a solo arrangement of it. And I think in the video I even tackled a little of it and just thought, oh man, this just doesn't work. But I'm going to, let's see, is there anything else I had to talk about? Camp. Camp is coming up. That's it. So anyway, we've got a little Google Doc set up for anybody that's for the campers, and you should have gotten an email about if you want to sign up for a master class with anybody, or if you want to plan on a mini set and stuff like that. So if you're coming to IGC in just a little over a week now, make sure that you check your email and sign up for the classes and workshops that you want. But getting back to Till There Was You, this was a song that, again, is very jazzy with these diminished and minor seventh and ninth chords. But it causes a problem when I try to play the melody. Now it's going to a G minor chord, and the melody notes... Anyway, picking out the melody and getting the chords in the same thing really presents a problem with this because of how the melody notes overlap. For example, the problem I just ran into there was I needed to play a chord that was B flat minor, which meant I needed to have a D flat in there. But the melody note at that point was a C. Now, that C and the D flat are a half step apart, so I can't really play them both at the same time, at least not on a B flat minor chord. And so that makes playing this in the key of F really difficult. So then I start going through other keys and start thinking, okay, the melody notes go from the third to the fourth to the fifth, C. So the first melody note that I need to harmonize is the fifth of the chord, and we're on chord 1 in the key. Okay, so I start going through the songs and I think, okay, well, let's see what happens in the key of G, because that puts the fifth up on D, fairly high. That might work. To a G sharp diminished that we could play lots of different ways. To A minor. Now it's the same problem. I need C minor, but I need a D in the melody. So I can't get the minor sound very well. Okay, so that, again, I can't even get out of the first 4 measures here with something I'm comfortable, that seems like it's going to work. So let's think about another key, A. That's going to put the fifth up here. The A sharp diminished makes it really nice. B minor. Now I need a D minor, but an E in the melody. Oh! That's looking possible. Boy, it's still not hitting me. Now, E or D. Let's try E first. No, the melody's gonna be too low. There we go. We have to get the melody higher. It's got to get up on higher strings. Now that might mean we go into a key where, D. Now the problem with D, that's going to put me up here. Getting somewhere now. That makes that minor chord, that minor 4, just wait. This is. I haven't tried C yet. Let's see if C will work. Okay, that's looking. Okay, that's it. If I'm going to try to do that, I think I'm leaning towards C. I might put a little more research in on this. I think that's most of what I wanted to run through my head today. I'm working. I've got another dilemma that you guys might be able to help me out with, and that is, had a lot of requests to put together a couple of songs that are going to be really difficult to write out. This is one of them. It's because of the percussion that has to go in there. The other is, of course, not of course. Anyhow, these are the demons I'm wrestling with lately, is figuring out how to write out and give a lesson on these songs that have this really advanced percussive technique. And I think I've come to the conclusion that if you haven't done that ever, it's going to be difficult. It's going to be really difficult. So anyway, try to put together a tutorial on percussive playing. Just learning to get some percussion on beats 2 and 4. And if you can do that, then you can probably work in those melody notes for Last Train Home and Whitebird. So, probably won't get these finished before camp because I got a lot organizing there. But if anybody's really hot to get onto those songs, let me know. Put something in the forum. I need a cheerleading section here to get the ball rolling. So, okay, that is it for September, and I will be back next week with a bunch of cool stuff, I hope.